Good day and welcome to another edition of Outside of Genie for today's 7th of September, where we will be looking at racing from Greyville Poly track. We can also call it Kimberley at Greyville if you want to. A lot of the ex-Kimberley trainers have entries for today. Before we look at the betting and the fields, just one or two things I would like to quickly talk about. For those who are now seeing this video for the first time, I just want to tell you quickly what Outsider Genie do. Outsider Genie provide a service where we do a formal analysis of the races, and we then give to punters horses that outsiders that we think that can win a race or place in order for you to add that into your own selections and then be able to catch the bigger dividends. So should those outsiders arrive. Please note we are currently sponsored by Meerkat Online Auctions, which I will tell you a little bit more later. We are also, if you want to receive this on a daily basis notification, you can follow us on YouTube, just subscribe, click the button and ring the bell, and you will then be able to get notification every time that we post our video. We are also on Twitter, Instagram, and WhatsApp. There is our details 083 585 5133. As we said, we offer a specialized analysis service which you can subscribe to. The video will always be free, but for more detailed selection, you can subscribe to Outsider Genie. We have a look at our special offer for the 3-month package. The first package, our normal price is 500 Rand per month. Now, if you subscribe now, I just want to change this to the 10th of September. And the reason why I'm making it the 10th of September, I'll give you a little bit of a present, because on the 10th of September, this analyzer turns to the ripe age of 60. Never thought I'll get there. So I'm giving you a bit of a present from my side to the 10th of September, and then you can get selections till the end of September for 400 Rand. Then also the summer season is coming soon in Gauteng, and that goes from September to November. So you can get a package now, and I'm giving you this package at 50% discount. The normal cost would have been 1,500 Rand for 3 months. You can now sign up for this 3-month package for 750 Rand, meaning you only pay 250 Rand for the selections. If you subscribe to Outsider Genie, you will get race by race selection. What we do is we give an outright winner and 2 possible outside selections. The outright winner being the horse that we think can win the race, and that's not linked to a price. It can be any price. I've given outright winners. The other day I gave the guys Whirly as an outright winner, and that was at 30 to 1. So value bets to play each way, normally between 6 to 5 to 1, 6 to 1, or longer prices. I'll also give you a best bet of the day. I don't tip odds on. Anybody can find that. Sometimes I'm trying to give some decent value as a best bet. Has given best bets as high as 13 to 2. We also give you trifecta and quartet selections, which you can play as is, or use some of the numbers, add them to your numbers, and then play accordingly. And the same goes for the PA and the pick 6. You can play as is or add on. One of my punters took my pick 6 that I gave yesterday. Unfortunately, I was out one leg, but in that leg that I was out, he added his own selection. That was number 10, I think. And then he caught the pick 6 for 1%. For a layout of 2,000, for 270, you nearly got back 2,000 Rand. So let's have a look at the racing today from Hollywood, Greyville, on the Poly track. Now, from the outset, I want to just say this is also, these days there's no more easy cards. Every card today is difficult, but what makes today's card a little bit more difficult than normal is that we have a number of ex-Kimberley trainers now training in KwaZulu-Natal. And even Bill Human, now he comes from my valley. He's just up the road here from Derby, around the corner from Rustenburg, where I'm from. And he's bringing through 2 horses. And I can tell you, Bill Human, will not send those two horses if just to go and show them a bit of a sea or something. There's a serious business. And even now, the Val the other day, he nearly had to win it. So it's difficult for these Kimberley guys, that because they got horses from this center because those horses couldn't compete in these centers. Now they back in this center with horses that have um, battled. But sometimes you'll find that a horse, when you change stables, they say it changes as good as a holiday. One trainer does something else so they can improve. But now the problem for us as a form analyzer is I don't have form for those horses on the poly track or even the turf track on Greyville. And some of them, if they do have form on the poly track and the turf club of the turf track is, they didn't perform. That's why they went to Kimberley. So today is definitely difficult to do the assessment, but I'm trying my best and let's see how it goes. So let's have a look at the betting. First race, number 7, Numi, 17 to 10, 11 to 2, Magic Lee, Watasara, 8 to 1, Queen Rachel, 10 to 1, Starlight, 10 to 1, Fort Royal, 10 to 1, Winter Mornack, 10 to 1, 12 to 1, Sarabi, and 20 to 1 along at the field. Now, I can't touch on all the horses because there's too many. So I'm just touching on the horses that I think outright selections and outsider selection. Yeah, I want to go down to horse number 6, Queen Rachel. Now, Queen Rachel, Lyle Hewitson is riding. That already is a plus point. Now, Queen Rachel has won over 1,300 and 1,000 meters free races on the trot. But what is interesting is that he ran a close second to Burgundy Rose. Now, Burgundy Rose did win a race the other day here and on the poly track. So I would then suppose that would enhance his chances. He's also been, he ran 16 behind Windy Flight, Crimson Castle, and then he ran behind Philadelphia last time. But what was nice for me about this run is it was a fast time on the inside track, and the horse, it says here no finish, but the horse finished 22.4, 400 to finish. Now, I can tell you if a horse can finish under 23 seconds, 400 to finish, then that horse has got a bit of ability. Bill Heeman wouldn't travel all the way from Rustenburg. So in my race 1, my choice is number 6, Queen Rachel. Then also another horse that we can look at is number 9, Starlight, Muzieni. Muzieni used to be the champion in Kimberley many years. So I do think Muzieni is going to start picking up races. Now, this horse has raced in a little bit of better company than he's meeting here. Here he's got a 71 behind Mr. Winter, Yas, Song of the Forest. Be Happy. Those all the horses that are currently racing in a little bit higher division than here. So I believe Starlight will definitely be, can be involved in the finish. Not definitely, but can be involved in the finish. He has won and placed on the poly track, so he's not adverse to the poly track. Then we have a look at number 10, Fort Royal. Sarah von Willer-Smith, he did have his first winner yesterday at 40 to 1. This horse run well over the 1,400 meters. Now bringing it back to 1,000, where he won on Kimberley. And he showed a lot of pace. Got an informed jockey, but only the problem jumping from the number 10 draw. But I found that on the poly track, that sometimes is not a bad idea because most of the times they believe that the horses do move into the, to the inside, to the stand side of the track. So if we can show the same pace again, then certainly he can be involved in the finish. Yeah, there's lots of horses in this field that got chances. I said there's no easy race today. Let's quickly have a look at a few other ones. Watasara has also an in and out form in Kimberley. Last time out, 6 lengths behind Hopskip and Jump. And can probably improve Warren Kennedy from draw 1. Might want to include that into your quartets. Magically, well, the race Magically has won, and that is something you need to take note of. He's quite strong. He's getting the -2.5. Already there was 4 runners and 3 winners. But as you can see, this one was beaten by Burgundy Rose by 4 lengths. And as I just mentioned, Queen Rachel just ran close to Burgundy Rose. So, but Magically, definitely inclusion in all your bets. So then let's move down to race number 2. Let's have a look at the betting. This is also a maiden plate over 1400 meters. Here we have number 12, Jace Dancer, 19-10. Olympic Legend, 11-2. Chenico Chief, 6-1. Cardboard Cowboy, 6-1. Astute Palace, 10-1. 9-1. 10-1 Alfredo, and 12-1 and longer the rest. So let's have a look here at horse that I do fancy. One of the horses I do fancy is number 1, Olympic Legend. It is a Botario by Swazir May. This horse took a little bit time to find its feet, but last time on the poly did run well, although 7.5 lengths behind. But that winner that was placed after that again, and yeah, I think in this class, Olympic Legend can be a factor. Let's move on to a little bit low, further on. Here's number 3, Alfredo. Alfredo, a horse that you need to include in all your bets in terms of quartets trifectas. I want to get to number 8. Here's number 8, Cardboard Cowboy. Warren Kennedy riding, has run some decent races. 3 races again behind Black Fox on Scottsville. This horse hasn't run on the poly, but the Bold Savannahs don't have a problem. And last time out, did fade a little bit up there, tired. Now a little bit shorter, and I think Cardboard Cowboy can be involved in the finish here. Another horse we want to look at is number 6, Jericho Chief. Well, how well does this look for Radas riding? Won the last race, I think, yesterday, and quite a nice ride. Jericho Chief was also a horse that's been running a few places. Last time out, restless at the start. Marcus on board, but now, but I think it's worth another chance. Can be involved in the finish. So let's move on to the third race. Another maiden plate over 1400 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. Here we have number 8, Lightning Spirit, 12-5. Ulterior Motive, 4-1. 11-2, whatever it takes. Jolly Boy, 7-1. 8-1, Mountain of Gold. 10-1, Dark Fate and Declaration of War. 14-1, and longer the rest. Here I have a strong, I do favor this horse today, Lightning Spirit. Drawn 8, 14 meter, a Captain Al by Rakeen May. This Blythe Spirit has thrown some nice foals. This horse has shown some ability. Was beaten by Garinius. Garinius has went on to win a small future. The 2 races back around Algeria, and I do feel Lightning Spirit the horse to beat in this field. Let's have a look at some of the other runners in this field. Number 1 has got no form. Number 2, behaving there and thereabouts, runs on, runs from the front. So that's always dangerous. So do include in all your play. Here we have number 3, Jolly Boy, again, Musi Yeni from draw 3, a byword, and hasn't had a lot of runs. And I think can improve on his last run. Definitely a horse that I think that you might want to include in all your play. Then we have a look at number 6, Ulterior Motive, Dean Connermeyer. There's also 5 lengths, 4 lengths behind the headed ran a second behind African Sunrounds on this distance. So kicking the media on board in with a chance. Also, that you might want to include in the back end of your quartets is this Magari Golf Cooler is on fire. I'm not sure whether they had 2 or 3 winners yesterday, but the horse is getting the -4. It's a 4-year-old Langari. He hasn't shown much, but just for the fact of the -4, you might want to include number 7 in your quartets. So next down, move on to race number 8. Race number 4, sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Race number 4. Phyllis Amir's handicap 64 over 1400 meters. Class E, average merit rating 58. Here we have number 6, Popova 72, Al Ruyani 72, Kilvington 92, Varianos 13-2, class of 8 13-2, Miss Rosa Parks 15-2, 10-1 Kick Butt, 16-1 Top Salute, 25-1 Glacier, and longer the rest. So let's have a look here at horses I do fancy. One of the horses I fancy in this race is Glacier Girl. Now, the average mare rating in this race is a 58. This horse has won over a 58, but the interesting thing, he was running on a merit rating of 61, 69, 75. He's now on a merit rating from 55. Last time out, he was still a merit rating of 65 on the turf track. But on a poly, he's running from a 55. Now, he was running in 81 there. He won by 3.25 lengths over the 1400 poly sand, which is not exactly the poly, but it is still a different surface, beating Irish Pride and drew right away. And I do believe that Glacier Girl at 25-1 has got the ability to beat this field. Obviously not a certainty. I mean, you can't go and put a house on it, but I mean, you go even, each way or something like that, included in your bet. If the horse arrives, then you are going to be in the money. In other horses, I do fancy is Lyle Hewitson here on number 9. Kilvington has been running well behind 24 seconds fastest one finish behind class of 8. Has been there about getting a lot of places. You see their distance, 4 seconds, a third and a fourth. And then on course and distance, 5 rounds, 2 seconds and a third. So this horse likes the poly, no problem with the poly. And I think today Kilvington will be running a decent race. Just go up here. I want to go to number 1. Varianos has run in much stronger company than he's meeting here. And this is also with Muzieni from draw 1. Definitely upset material. Varianos not that big, but 13-2 still a nice price. Class of 8 won last time out. But I found, with my little bit of experience I've had over the years, that these type of horses in a lower division, they'll win a race, but not often do they win 2 or 3 races in a row. So, class of 8 in with a chance do include of your bets, but in this race, a lot of horses, anything can win here. So let's move on to race number 5, which is a maiden plate over 1600 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. Here we have number 2 to the max 17-10, Miss Caruso 22-10, Mary in Haste 8-1, in Kakara 8-1, Born to Rock 12-1, and number 1 14-1, Mazavaradu, and 60-1 and longer the rest. Now here we have number 2. He is running against Miss Caruso, which beat him last time when they ran behind number 1 Aquas Suisse. But the problem, this horse was drawn 15 out of 16. He had a bad start, and he still ran on fastest 400 to finish. And I do think if Keegan de Mello can get his horse to jump from draw 2, today will be hard to beat. Obviously, Muscaruza is still a danger, but I do think that to the max today, in my mind, the best bet on the card with the thing. If the horse jumps, he can't be slow away again. Then it will be doomed. So do follow that. Number 2. Let's have a look. Then we have number 4, Imperial Deal. This horse has been also running there and thereabouts in a bit higher divisions than he's meeting today, a third day, a fourth day. And then last time out, um, that lead the last 2 races. Jason Gates has ridden many winners from the front. So Ford Imperial Deal definitely a horse that you need to include into your play. And here we have again Muzi Yeni on Born to Rock. Born to Rock has also run against some decent horses, not decent, but some nice horses. And I do believe that today will be run a better race. Muzi Yeni on board on the poly. Do include in all your bets. Let's just go down to Mascaruso. That's drawn 12. Yeah, Lyle Hewitson riding. That is slowly improving. Come from Joburg Elaklet stable, and now found itself in Natal. It's a byword by Fordwood. Nicely bred. It cost 100,000 rand as a yearling. So, but can improve and definitely not out of the picture here. So let's move on to race number 6. Race number 6 is a merit rated 70 handicap. Class D, average merit rating 64. Let's have a look at the betting. Number 1, we forced 28 to 10. Whites, Salah 72. Alpha Mike Foxtrot 92. Mission Beats 10 to 1. Galway 10 to 1. Concealed Secret 12 to 1. World Cruise 14 to 1. 16 to 1. El Balero 20 to 1. Lucio and 25 to 1 and longer the rest. Yeah, this is also a very open race, many horses with chances. Let's go down to number 8, World Cruise. Yet again, I'm on with Muzieni. I hope you have a good day, and Albert also look good. The reason why I'm choosing this horse, if you go back and sometimes uh, when you do your form analysis, you can't just always look in the last 3 or 4 races. You need to judge this horse on previous performances. Now, if I can mention you just a few names here. Berlin from Berlin ran in the Gold Cup, 4th. Papa Victory won the Gold Cup. Berlin from Berlin, twice golden, I think, is a 4-time winner. Uh, this is a medal rated 64. Now, you might think that the distance is too short, but if you look here, course and distance, 2 runs and 2 seconds. So although it doesn't show you that this horse can do the 1600 meters, Frank Robertson now bringing it back to the 1600 meters. And I do believe that number 8, World Cruise, can run a huge race in this field. Then let's have a look at some other contenders. Number 10, Galway, Jacobson, but drawn 10. But as I said before, not always a case of death. Has also been running well there and there. Last time out behind Gentleman's Way, lost his way a bit, but I'm sure will run. But that was in a C division. Now running in an E division and in a D division. 64 minute rating. Been running against higher African Sunrise, 81, 79. So definitely, I think Galway was not to leave out of your calculations. And here we have number 11, Lucio. It's an XP horse now finding itself in Natal. Did run a decent race last time behind Gentleman's Way, and unfortunately just to draw 11 again. But as horse has run some decent races in PE, and has only had 12 runs. And I do think that I do feel that this horse can show further improvement and be involved in a finish. There are other horses with chances in this field. Mifos did win last time out, beating Divine U. Divine You came out and won again. So also not without a chance. Now going down in distance from the 2000 back to the 1600 meters, but can be involved in the finish. Number 2, Orchard Street is scratched. Yeah, as I said, Time Master, you might want to include Time Master in the back end of your quartets, getting the -2.5. Genie Princeton is finding its feet now, and this horse looks, the way it runs here, it looks like it can improve. So do include in the back ends of your quartets. Off of Mike Foxtrot, did win and then ran close to Manu. Lyle Hewitson, always a dangerous combination. So that concludes that race. So let's move on to the next race, which is race number 7. And here we have a merit rated 70 handicap. Class D, average merit rating 67. Let's have a look at the betting. Here we have number 7, Divine You, 70 to 10. Anton Marcus on board. He hasn't got a lot of rides, so take note of that. Track Attack 15 to 4. Mighty Smart 6 to 1. Seas Pounds 8 to 1. Barker 12 to 1. Arrows Creek 12 to 1. Viking Red 14 to 1. 16 to 1. Proud Warrior. Storm Ruler and 20 to 1 along with the rest. Now the obvious choice would seem here to for number 7, Divine You. You won last time, you won well, you won easy. But I've got another horse here that I fancy. I've been following this horse now for a while. It's a Wiley Hall out of Selkirk May, imported May. And this horse has been running well, even after its maiden. He nearly got, he just got beaten by Smart Socks. Smart Socks has won again. Here he ran 4th behind Arrow's Mark. Already 2 winners from that field. And then here behind all the way. And, he's now running in a 67. Lag, no show. But I've got a feeling that this horse today is going to run a huge race here on the Poly. I think this horse has got ability, and I do believe that he's in with a huge chance here. Barker to beat Divine You. It's going to be a nice, interesting contest. Other horses that one can look at here is number 11, Winter is Over. Now, I know this horse is 40 to 1 in the betting. You're going to laugh your head off. But Justin Snave is no fool. He's putting the -4 on. This horse has run against horses like Count Jack. Count Jack won a big future in Kenilworth behind a Z 3.5. So it's just battling to find its feet a little bit here. But last time I did run improved race behind Royce Psycho, casting a shoe. And I think that this horse number 11, Winter is Over. I won't say maybe the horse can't win the race, but do include in all your quartets and trifectas. As the same goes for number 12, also getting -12. This horse, Ishiketo, when he either win or run unplaced, had 17 runs with 2 wins and 1 second, 1 third, and 1 fourth. But I do believe the horse has got ability, has run some huge races here behind Joseph Jagger. Also a horse to include into your quartets and trifectas. I just want to scroll up here, just quickly want to look at another horse here I want to talk about. Number 2, Storm Ruler. Storm Ruler ran close to Proud Warrior, and there is a 2 kilogram turnaround in weight, so can definitely run closer to number 1. But both of them were beaten by Divine You last time out. But there is now a little bit of a weight turnaround that can bring them closer to Divine You. So also maybe selections that you might want to include into your play. We then move on to race number 8. Race number 8 is a merit rated 62 handicap with 1200 meters, class E 57 average merit rating. And here we have number 9, Jerry the Juggler 2 to 1, Lotta Silver 5 to 1, Jordan 6 to 1, Candle Cove 9 to 1, Mambalodic 10 to 1, Spike Wells 10 to 1, Great to be Captain 12 to 1, and 20-1 and longer the rest. So let's have a look here. Number 9, Jerry the Juggler. I think also might be one of your better bets on the cards. Have run now 2 good races since the rest, and I do think this horse, even the draw 9, is ready to win today. Has been running, close up in a little bit higher divisions. So Jerry the Juggler for Cliffy Miller, I would think definitely a contender in this race. Other horses that you can look at here is number 11, Spike Wells, also from Cliffy Miller. This horse hasn't run on a poly here, but I do believe this horse has run some decent races here, winning by 7.5 lengths, here winning by 5 lengths. Horse has got ability, has 5 runs, has won 5 runs, has won 5 times. So definitely a horse you want to include into your play. Also, let's have a look at a few other contenders. Cliffy Miller's got a number of horses in this field. It might be wise to include some of them. 5 Jardine has been running well, third to behind Alpha Mike Foxtrot, 3.95 behind Mananumu. Well, up there, then faded, but I'm sure we have another chance. So that is race 8. Let's move on to race 9. And the last race, also another open race, a maiden plate over 1,200 meters. Betting as follows. Number 4, McCallan 4-1, Mama's Boy 11-2, Tito 13-2, Telmeath 13-2, James Dean 7-1, Lord Caro 7-1, 8-1, 7 Song, Ramsey was a reserve, now in 14-1 and longer the rest. So here I want to go down to also a lot of horses with chances, but I'll talk about that just now. I want to go to number 8, Lord Caro. Now, Lord Caro has run against some really, some here and there, some decent opposition. Transonic has won again. And looking at the poly form, I do believe this horse has run this course and distance 9 times for 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and 2 fourths. So 6 out of 9 times on this course, this horse was placed. Now back on the poly, and I do think Dylan will run a huge race here with number 8, Lord Caro. Now, just note number 9, Go Kitty, is a scratching. And it won last time out. And I mean, if you have a look, this horse isn't that really such a strong form. So, yeah, sometimes these maidens are really weak. So we want to go up here to number 1, Tito. This also horse likes to place. Has already had 39 runs, getting the -2.5. Do include in all your bets, can come up anytime. Tell me if we tried it over longer distances. Now they're bringing it back to a 1,200 meters. Put straight on board, drawn to. I'm sure they're going to try and go with this horse start to finish. This horse cost 2.6 million rand as a yearling. And yeah, and wow, now it finds it here in the lower division, maiden plate after 10 runs, still a maiden. But I do think it will win a race sometimes, but now putting it back over the 1,200 meters might be a sweet move. Do include in all your play. For McCallan is a favorite, Candy has got a chance, has run some decent races, and has been placed a number of times. Mama's Boy hasn't shown much, but I do feel that the horse might have the ability to improve. James Dean has also run a nice race last time, a better race, Muzi Yeni riding, but already a 6-year-old, only had 4 runs, so must have had a few problems. So back can still improve and now put into your quartets, back end of your quartets. So that concludes our assessment for today at the poly. I hope I could point you in the right direction and maybe pick up a few winners. And as I always say, break a leg.